it's a kind of like a kid's train to an extent.
Yeah.
It doesn't go fast. It's like you sit in it, it's open, you're just like, okay. And this little dude, Dylan, at the time was probably 7 or 8, he's like, what are we, a bunch of old ladies? Speed this thing up. We're at DonO's house. One of the 12 beers of Christmas, what we got on deck this time is from Austin Beer Garden Brewery, or Brewing, down in Austin, Texas. It is their Zephyrliner IPA. Cheers, DonO.
Cheers.
This beer, the reason I wanted to kind of pull this out for a beer of Christmas, it kind of like just speaks to the graciousness and the giving nature, I think, of beer nerds to want to share. And that's a very kind of Christmassy thing, giving gifts and whatnot. This was brought to us by a fan, Matt Chrispen, from Austin, Texas. Actually lives in Bastrop, Texas, as he was telling us. And it's one of these things where a fan/friend kind of hits us up on whatever, Instagram, Facebook. He's like, I'm coming into town for business. You guys always talk about being from the Twin Cities. Since I'm going to be in the Twin Cities, I'd like to come see you or drop something off. In this case, we went and met up with Matt for a good hour or two at Black Stack, and he brought this beer plus a couple others. So we wanted to share it real quick. The story behind it, Zephyrliner. There's the Zilker Zephyr. So in Zilker Park in Austin, Texas, there's this cute little train that rides you all along Barton Creek and through Zilker Park, and it's called the Zilker Zephyr. So I've been led to believe it's named after that. What do we say? Citra and Mosaic?
That's what you were saying you thought you heard from someone.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely has a nice aroma, a strongish hop aroma, as you would want in an IPA. And it was a familiar set of aromas that I was getting. And I was thinking maybe Mosaic, and then the confirmation. There's sort of a bit of a dankness. I don't know if that's more Citra.
Mm-hmm. To me, it's got a little sweet fruit kind of behind it, almost like a little white grape, which is kind of neat, but not like a tart white grape.
And it's not. I like it because it has a respectable bitterness, but it isn't also not overly dry. So it's not like a West Coast IPA. It's just kind of like a American IPA, I guess.
I wonder if this kind of falls into juicy, because I get lush, juicy, kind of almost salivatory after finish, but it's not hazy. It's not trying to be.
It's not soft.
Right. It's not. It's also over the top bitter.
Nice malt, character. It's also kind of lighterish in color, so there's not a lot of caramelized anything in there going on.
Yeah. So in this case, I also just I asked Don if we could just riff real quick about what it's like. We've been doing these video shows for more than 10, in your case, like 15 years. We get hit up. It's really funny to be kind of known as somebody who might appreciate a visit from someone or beer, or we've traveled and met people. Mm-hmm. You were kind of pointing out Keith Ciani. There's these people who are fans that when we travel. But like, is there kind of like a fan visit that really stands out to you here in town, or someone came here?
It's happened, at least for me, maybe not as much as you, I don't know, but I mean, I can at least think of 3 times for sure where somebody has said, I'm going to be in your town, can we meet up? My most favorite story of that is Brian Eckert from Burlington, Vermont, and also started 4 Quarters Brewing, and he blames/credits me and my homebrewing videos for keeping him on his homebrewing journey. And I think I've told this story before, but my videos helped him see how to do it simpler, because he was overcomplicating it and he didn't like the process. So that's kind of backwards than having somebody go from like extract to all grain. But anyway, he was in town. He said, can I come by? He actually took a bus from Minneapolis and came to St. Paul and got off and walked a couple blocks to my house, brought some stuff. I had a bunch of stuff to share. He had some things. And then we also had been doing, after that, maybe before, we did mail sharing, beer mail back and forth.
Yeah.
And then,
which is how we met.
A few years later, after he got his brewery going, I went to Burlington and stayed with him, and he took me around to different breweries. I actually got put to work in the brewery a little bit. I remember he taught me how to fill Sankey kegs or whatever, so I did some of that. But and we have remained friends to this day, and so all because he was in town and wanted to stop by.
That is so cool. Yeah, most recently, before Matthew, that dude Evan, who came, who was running sound for Styx at the state fair. He lives in Asheville. He came over. We had like a pretty epic evening of like grilling. Had at least 5 or 6 beers of his. Yeah, it's just always fun. So if you're ever in the neighborhood or in either of the Twin Cities, my availability has gotten a little less just with the family and everything. But man, we used to be pretty solid, like hard maybe, soft yes. I will meet you.
Yes.
We will have beers.
People can always ask.
Yeah.
And if they have a couple of days, then there might be a chance. So.
Yeah, and it's kind of what's gotten me, through Chop and Brew. I got to go to Norway and to Ireland. These are not like things that I would have just like bought a ticket and like, let's go see what happens. It's people who hit me up and became friends and invited and put us up. So, cheers to good beer, people.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers to good beer. Austin.
Thanks, Matt.
Beer Garden Brewing. Matt. Brian Peters, the head brewer there, who's been an Austin brewing institution for a couple of decades, at least. Hot minute. Co-founded Live Oak. Billy's Brewing Q and Uncle Billy's Brewing Q, and now just like especially running that lager game. I'm sad that I drank both of the lagers without sharing them with you because their lager game is medal worthy, of course. So, all right, cheers. Till the next 12 beers of Christmas.
Yes.
Bing. Keep it friendly, y'all.